You heard Riviera, I'm gonna react to selling 10 records and still broke, the sad story of TLC.
This American girl group faced a bittersweet victory. Once an R&B sensation, suddenly went bankrupt. From arson charges to death to faulty contracts. That was the unfortunate demise of TLC.
We are the biggest selling female group ever.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I never listened to TLC music. Never in my life. I never listened to their music. You know.
10 million albums worldwide. We have worked very hard. We have been in this business for 5 years. And we are broke.
TLC consisted of 3 girls: Tion T-Boz Watkins, Razonda Chili Thomas, and Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Together they won 4 Career Grammy Awards, 5 MTV Video Music Awards, and 5 Soul Train Music Awards. But despite their success, they were supposedly treated poorly by their label. The group claims that they picked an unfair deal concerning their contracts from their manager, Perry Pebbles Reed, and their associated labels LaFace Records and Arista Records. They recoup costs for manufacturing and distribution, which is a standard practice in the music industry. The label foots the upfront bill, so they help get the album off of its feet and distribute it into stores at that point, manufacturing, distribution, and placing them, and then they proceed to take it out of the artist's sales later down the road. They're also charged for mismanaging funds. The label went on to charge for other expenses, including airline travel, promotion, hotels, food, clothing, and more. So basically, the more successful their song Crazy Sexy Cool became, the more they were in debt because the more they had to travel. It didn't help that T-Boz required
Damn, all that traveling shit, that shit mad work, bro.
serious medical attention at a point, and Left Eye had insurance payments to make after an arson incident, which we'll get into more later. After all of these costs, each member claimed they had less than $50,000 a year for their efforts, which is shocking considering that it was a multi-million selling album. People would assume they were making a lot more through those albums, considering the success. In the end, TLC's 1991 contract with LaFace saw the trio receiving 56 cents per album sold, and they had to split that 3 ways.
Like hockey. Okay, there are 100 points on the album. TLC had 7. Every point is equal to 8 cents. Alright? 7 times 8, 56 cents. But as time went on, we learned a lot. That means every time an album gets sold, TLC gets 56 cents. So 10 million records, $5.6 million. Seems like a lot of money. Well, it's not a lot of money when the record company has spent $3 million to record your album. And in the record business, we pay all costs back to the record company. We pay recording costs, video costs. So now we have $2.6 million left. Well, guess what? When you have that much money, you're in about...
That's mad money. I wish I could have that much money. 20.6 million. Are you shitting me, bro? You know what I would do with that type of money, bro? Like, that ass, bro. Like that money, bro. Like, that's good.
47, 48.9% tax bracket. So that immediately gets deducted to $1.3 million. Then you split the rest 3 ways. You got about $300,000, if that much. Okay? $300,000. I can buy a nice house with that. And what am I going to pay my bills with?
They continued with the agreement with Pebbles that gave her ownership of the name as well as the lion's share of their earnings. They were not given a copy of their contract either, allegedly. They even used the same attorneys as Pebbles when negotiating, who was their manager. But in the end, the labels and management usually wins. The labels always win. They didn't have a chance. Before the release of their album in 1994, Left Eye was arrested on arson charges. While under the influence of alcohol, she burned down the mansion of her on and off man, Andre Ricin. She also vandalized an array of his selection of cars, and she narrowly avoided jail time and was instead sentenced to 5 years of probation. and was shortly after admitted to an alcohol rehabilitation program. Could the pressure of the TLC situation have gotten to her? Possibly not. Possibly she was already like this. Rumor has it that the trio was not getting along very well for quite some time during their tour in the late 90s. There were falling outs, and it didn't help when Left Eye slammed her bandmates and also the music that TLC had created. She challenged her bandmates to record solo albums so she could prove she was the most talented in the group. A bit harsh. Luckily, they eventually reconciled.
Well, that's most of these music label groups, like, they fall off and shit. You know, they have, like, massive egos and all that. Like, you know, while you in the music group, like, you having massive egos, y'all getting arguments, disagreements going in, like, even fights, like, damn, like, people be having massive egos, I ain't gonna lie, while you in a group, like.
But rumors still spread. Left Eye continued to pursue a solo career, and eventually so did her bandmate Chili. They clearly must hate each other because they reunited in 2001 to work on material for their new album. After the release of her solo project Supernova, Left Eye announced that she had signed a new solo deal for a brand new album. Sadly, before this got to release, she tragically died in a car accident on April 25, 2002. T-Boz from TLC explained the stress of the situation as well. Everybody treats us like we're stars now, except our own record company. When we signed our contract, we were under the impression that if we sold a bunch of records, they would give us a better deal. No matter how many records we sell or awards we win, they just treat us like dirt. Fans found it saddening that despite their hard work, they're practically given nothing, not even an amendment to their contract when they were selling a lot more. Record companies frequently reach out to new acts and offer to negotiate their contracts. It's really just a way of capitalizing on new talent. Stars such as Green Day, Offspring, the Cranberries, and more have all been given retroactive bonuses, plus higher royalty rates in exchange for making additional albums and for the success that they've had. Attorney Eric Greenspan said that not all companies operate so kindly though. Executives will tell the artist not to worry about the contract details and promise to negotiate later. This is not just a problem for TLC. It's a problem for every unknown artist in the industry. Once you sign on the dotted line, you're at the company's mercy. After attempting to renegotiate its contract, TLC filed for bankruptcy protection under Chapter 11 of the U.S. Bankruptcy Code. They claimed that their contract was unfair and prevented the members of the group from being able to pay any of their bills. That February, word got out that the trio and several of their friends stormed into the office of Arista Records' chief executive Clive Davis and took their plaques off of his walls. The three claimed that they never received any of their awards from the record company. They did what they did, and it would affect their perception, especially in a court setting. Even if the judge allowed TLC to break its contract, it's extremely unlikely that the trio would have been signed with any other company ever again. LaFace executives said they plan to file an appeal, and the case could take several years to be resolved back at that point. Any company that signed TLC in the meantime would have to be responsible for millions of dollars in damages should the ruling have been overturned in appeal. So they were able to stall starving artists out with every legal delay, and eventually the artists usually give in. So basically it's like being trapped. Attorney Eric Greenspan said, "My advice to any new artist about to sign a contract is, you better watch your back." And this seems like a valuable tip for artists, if they were to learn from the mistakes of TLC and many others who came after. Pebbles was still very angry about the way she was portrayed in TLC's VH1 biopic, Crazy Sexy Cool, the TLC story. She was so mad that she sued VH1 owner Viacom for
Damn, she sued VH1, bro? Nah, bro, she sued VH1.
defamation in federal court. She filed a state lawsuit against the surviving members of TLC for the same $40 million amount in compensatory and punitive damages. In the lawsuit filed in the state court of Fulton County, wrote that she was shown as a conniving and dishonest businesswoman who hoodwinked 3 innocent girls and exploited their talent for her own personal gain and in the process negatively influence their personal lives and deprive them of their compensation. Pebbles said that this statement is false. She said that she never had control over or influenced TLC's attorneys or accounts, never withheld contract terms from TLC, always paid TLC members what they were owed under their industry standard contracts, and oftentimes more than they were owed, and never encouraged group members to put their health before business. So according to the manager, she didn't put pressure on any of them into signing contracts without reading them, or refusing to show copies of their contract. She denied paying them $25 a week, and wrote that she was not involved with trying to remove Chili from TLC. The reason Pebbles was so touchy about the film was because she believed it damaged her reputation. Since she's a public figure, the threshold to win a defamation suit is higher for public figures than a private citizen. There has to be an attempt to falsely portray that person with intent to harm them, which is the argument she was making. The lawsuit goes into detail from Pebbles' perspective and how the group was formed, her role in it. For example, she wrote that she had no idea Chili was pregnant in the early 90s and learned of T-Boz's sickle cell anemia only after the first album was released. She also wrote how active she was in recruiting and managing them in the earlier years. It was even stated that on many occasions Pebbles personally
I ain't gonna lie, like, they look beautiful for their age, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They gotta be older, so they gotta be beautiful. They're beautiful, like, for their age, bro. They look good. They look good, like, for the age that they are. Like, they look like phase wise, they look like they look really good. I ain't gonna lie.
Against expenses on behalf of them and was never fully reimbursed by the group for that. Apparently, she also compensated TLC over the amounts due under the terms of the contract. She believes she counseled and nurtured the group and encouraged them to be frugal in their spending. She wrote that she poured her heart and soul into the group for over 5 years and didn't want to walk away from TLC. It's been claimed that before the first album was completed, TLC tried to change contract terms to cut her out of the deal. She believes that they filed for bankruptcy in 1995 as a legal ploy to act as revenge on her. But the two sides eventually settled that case and nothing came out of it. The music industry has a negative reputation for taking care of its signees. Its employees, however, have always spoken highly favorable about how the company's treated them. When it comes to music artists, it's not uncommon to find money issues. That was a reality for Dreamgirls as well as Cadillac Records, Isaac Hayes, Marvin Gaye. A lot of them went broke at a point. It's on the artist at some point, but given the amount of times this has happened in the music industry, something certainly isn't adding up. But it's truly unlikely that this aspect of the music industry is going to change anytime soon, if ever. There's also the practice of labels, managers, and other personalities sometimes taking publishing rights when they weren't even in the studio when a song was being created. And they go ahead and are able to collect artist expenses. T-Boz suffered medical illnesses, which makes that problem even worse. She suffered from sickle cell anemia, and in 2009 revealed that she was also battling a brain tumor. Medical illness actually bankrupts a significant amount of people in general, so this was no surprise either. So it was sad that T-Boz was filing for bankruptcy again, but this is unfortunately just a sad reality for a lot of artists. A large issue TLC raises for the recording industry won't be settled on its own. Even if the case was a speedy settlement that produced a more generous contract for TLC, they would simply have to prove the point that bankruptcy court can be an attractive way for big stars who want a better contract. The New Jersey lawyer, Mr. Lehman, who has handled dozens of bankruptcy cases in the entertainment industry, said that the recording industry was now fully aware of the artists, but their hottest and biggest stars. And the only way to avoid that outcome would be sure that a big star shared in the record company's success. It's a matter of being fair to the artist, he said. Record companies have to keep in mind that without artists, they don't have anything. And this is just
They still didn't get their respect, bro. Like, that shit crazy, bro. Like, yeah, bro. Even though I never listened to TLC music, any TLC music, I still think they should they should get their respect. Like, I mean, come on, like they sell 10 records and they still didn't get paid. Like that's OD, bro. That's wild disrespectful. But yeah, bro, like rest in peace to Left Eye. You know, like it's tragic. That's sad that she had to die like that. So yeah, bro, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes. So if you're just checking out, you are.